Hola, gringos, and welcome to
Gringos are us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week, we're going to tell you about the shopping experiences in Merida. Coming up right after this.
And welcome back. As Mark mentioned, this is going to be about our shopping experiences in Merida and what you can expect that's available for your shopping needs. And whether you want to shop big, shop small, we pretty much hit everything in each category. So let's start with malls. One of the very first experiences we had was we went to a mall to look for your cigars.
The Cigar Club, which was in Plaza America, and is part of, it's actually a second floor of a hotel, the first one being the parking deck, and then you go up and it's
The hotel was Fiesta Americana Merida. Yep.
And it's howdy top.
It's a little hoity-toity to be fair, to say the least. There was a lot of things in there. Some of them are very simple boho type things that were way overpriced. Everything in there pretty much was way overpriced. But it had the Cigar Club.
It did, and they were great. Got me taken care of for a little bit to help me make it until my cigars arrived from Querétaro. So yeah,
I would say it's very small. It's what you would call a boutique mall.
Yeah, the only part that isn't small is how it hits your pocketbook. That's going to be a little pricey.
Well,
yeah.
And I'm holding a list in case you wonder why I keep looking down. The second one we went to was Galerías Merida.
Yeah, I went there to get a haircut. That was our main reason.
We went for haircuts because we really didn't have an established place to go to just yet in Centro. Otherwise, we would have just gone to Centro.
And it sits right next door to the Costco. So we were like, okay, you know what? We're here at Costco.
Yep.
Let's go run over, get ourselves a haircut.
Now, I didn't get a lot of video footage in the Galerías simply because I know in some places in Mexico, the security is really strict on you filming inside these malls. I'm not really absolutely certain what the reason is, a safety thing, I guess. So I tried to really downplay video recording, but I did get some of the ice rink. I found it fascinating that they had an ice rink, and it was really cool because they had like these little walkers that people were using to steady themselves on the ice. It looked like a lot of fun.
Of course, the part that I found amazing was you got the ice rink, and they actually have it marked off for hockey, but there's no glass board. So I'm going, they're not playing hockey in here because you're going to hit somebody with a flying puck.
Maybe they put the glass up when they have a game. Those panels are removable. What I would say about the Galerías is it's a large mall. It's a typical mall. It looks like any other mall you've ever been to.
Food court. It's got the food court, the movie theater, the anchors.
It's got everything. Is that like a little Starbucks right there? How cute. I thought that I would let you know that while I'm in here in the plushie store looking for a liquid eyeliner, they are totally playing Taylor Swift, so you would be all over this. But the difference in this one compared to some of the other malls we've been to, and probably because of the region that we were in, it's enclosed. It's not an open air mall. It's enclosed and air conditioned. So, a mall is a mall is a mall.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's just like walking into any mall almost in the U.S. So, other than the names have changed on some of the stores and the names have changed in most of the places in the food court. I mean, there's no Sbarro or McDonald's or,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Indeed. The next mall that we went to simply because I wanted to go to the movies. This was the Harbor Lifestyle Mall.
Literally about a quarter of a mile down the road from the Galerías Merida Mall on the same side of the street. And it's probably less than 50% occupied by retail residents. So
I would say that the retail that has established in the mall tends to be a little on the higher end. It kind of reminded me like it's going to be similar to
a
lifestyle center, like the one in Hirokia.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be similar to Entea in that way. Because of the type of stores that were there. But yeah, it was really empty. There was a lot of empty lots.
And you get that. I mean, because a lot of times the same retailers who were down at, Gallerias Merida would fill another one, but they're a quarter of a mile down the road, they're going, no, we don't need two of them within that proximity. So that is making it harder for them to fill that particular mall up. I mean, there is no food court in there. There's about 5, 6, 7 restaurants. A couple of them are outdoor.
And they're higher end restaurants.
Yeah.
They definitely catering to a middle to upper middle class clientele. We were kind of told that the mall is one of the newest and it opened basically during COVID. So that probably has had a huge effect.
Yeah, it's got a double whammy. I mean, opening during COVID in the proximity to the other mall, it's going to be a hard chore filling that up.
However, one of the things that I noticed they had was a crochet store. Oh my goodness, I could go crazy in there, except that I gave all my crochet things away to our youngest daughter. But they had some really nice high-end yarns in there. And they had really cute, I can't think of the name right now, where you make little crochet dolls. I enjoy doing that so much.
The patterns or?
Yeah, the patterns, the little kits. These ones are just, definitively designed just for this particular type. And all through the mall, they had these really large alebrijes, basically the really large painted animals. They had the statues everywhere, and they were really quite cute. Okay, please, does anyone else see it? Does anyone else see it?
Fish and plankton and sea greens and protein from the sea.
Look guys, 89 days. It's like the first week of October. Hello, Christmas, even in Mexico. But what they really had, and the reason we were there, was Cinépolis. Cinépolis VIP, to be exact. So it was interesting to note that the prices for a regular movie theater ticket in Mexico are, gosh, I haven't seen matinee tickets that cost like this in the United States in a long, long time. The prices are good. And the VIP experience is almost double that, and it's still less money than what it costs to see a movie in the United States. We even got dinner, and even with dinner, it was about half of what we would have spent in the United States.
Just for popcorn and 2 sodas.
And 2 sodas, yeah.
Yeah,
and we got a sandwich and a candy bar. So,
and a popcorn and 2 sodas.
Yeah.
So when you come to Cinépolis, there's 2 theaters. There's the regular, and then there is VIP. VIP is a premium, you do pay more. And they have a bar, and they have food, and they have a lounge area. It's actually really quite nice. Mark and I decided to go to the movies. We're at Cinépolis, and we went to the VIP. You have got to see this place. There's little lamps, recliner chairs. It is just, what? A gentleman followed us in, took our order. He is going to deliver our order. And Mark says to wake him up when the movie starts.
Se convertirá en la proyección musical más taquillera de todos los tiempos.
We got our popcorn and our pop. Got some juice. Mark got some food.
What I liked about the VIP, and I don't know if it's only in the VIPs, something tells me it's not just in the VIPs, but what I really liked about the VIP experience was that the movie was in our traditional language that the movie was filmed in. And in this case, it was in English and it had Spanish subtitles. So it was easy for us who are not fluent to watch the film. But it was also an opportunity to pick up some vocabulary if you were trying to read the subtitles too. So I kind of like that. I like that idea of being able to, pick up a few extra words.
Yeah, you could pick up what the F-bomb was with no problem after watching this movie. But I mean,
Yeah. Anyway, and I also thought the experience in general was really nice. I have been to some very comfortable theaters like that in the United States where you had reclining chairs and such. But I thought it was just a very pleasant experience for a movie. I enjoyed it. I certainly would utilize those services again. He might not, but I would.
there's a reason I haven't been to the theater in 20 some odd years. They just reinforced it. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Then, of course, we have our grocery store options.
Yes, this happens everywhere, even in Mexico. Oh, how cool. I want a little Italian moped. Pumpkin spice. I think I want to put this in some coffee. Maybe I'll put this on some French toast. Maybe I'll even put this in my Jamaica. And I found an alternative to Snyder's of Berlin cheesy popcorn.
All right, we had a Chedraui. There was a Superaki. There was a Soriana, a Walmart. Then there were the big box stores. We had a Sam's Club and a Costco. And those are just the ones that I saw. I know there's more.
And the Home Depot and I mean, it's you have plenty of options to get to, and even the Shidrui Itzea that we were going to, because it was fairly close to the house, it had its own little mall, and it went all the way down, had a little Cinepolis down in the corner there.
Oh, yeah, 2 eyeglass places.
Yep, 2 eyeglass places, and it was very convenient. It was not too terribly expensive. I mean, I think that when we do the breaking down the money, I think that the pricing there was pretty good. I'm just giving you my impression now.
Of course, as soon as we got there, the first thing we did was hit the Costco because we were going to be there for 3 months, so we stocked up. Yeah, we spent a lot at that Costco.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is also still here.
Some of it. Some.
Yes.
But
and some of it will not be going beyond here. So,
Then, of course, there's local shopping. And when I say local shopping, I'm mostly talking about the various tiendas. You can walk anywhere around Centro where we were, and there is just store after store after store. The plastics, clothing,
cell phone accessories,
hair accessories,
clothing,
perfume. I mean, just store after store after store.
We just stopped at this bookstore behind us. Got some things for our granddaughter at this cute little magnet and a book about, I love this, and it's in English. Cute, right? And I got a couple books for me. Short, quick reading. It sounded interesting. A quick handy guide on archaeology. And something interesting that Mark picked up. Really? Is this a thing?
15 pesos.
15 pesos. He was happy to get it.
These are just tiendas that people shop at. And
The optical places.
yeah,
And, yeah.
his audiology appointment, for example.
And so now we are walking to
My hearing aid center, because I need to get one of them adjusted before we leave Merida.
he got hit by lightning or something.
That would explain a lot of things, I guess. But yeah, I had one that's sort of gone a little dull on me, so we're going to go have them do an adjustment, and hopefully it corrects the problem.
Buen día. Sí, mucho gusto. Lightning.
Un río 20, 30 segundos.
Acuérdate que le dije cada mes. Cada mes
Sí, un mes
lo trae para hacer el mantenimiento. Yo creo que no me escuchó cuando le dije que había que traerlo cada mes para que yo le pudiera dar su mantenimiento.
Did you need me to record that?
Maybe.
Sí, por lo mismo. Ahorita primero uno y luego el otro para checar, para que no se quede sin oír.
We went there. He had to get his hearing aid recently looked at, and I recorded that experience. So, yeah. And then after the tiendas,
Then we had the 6 across the street.
Oh, true.
that-
then
which if I needed soda, they learned that we had a conversation because they had Pepsi on sale, and he looked at me and goes, Pepsi solo, and I went, oh, no, no bebo Pepsi, nunca, and he laughed. He goes, solo Coca. I said, sí, solo Coca.
That's
and
funny.
so he knew, that if I walked in there, I was coming in to get normally a couple of the 3-liter Cokes. Occasionally I'm walking to get a small one if we were making a drive someplace. So I'd get a, half a liter one to stick in the car to drink on the way.
and there were a few bodegas near the house.
And we had a bodega that was
Yeah.
a half a block from the house that proved useful a couple of times. Making dinner one night, it was like, I need carrots. Sahanarias. Walked right down there, got my carrots,
Yeah.
boom.
There we
So
are.
it was very, that whole neighborhood was very convenient.
And then, of course, we also have the Mercado. Now, we had a few Mercados. We never made it into 2 of them. One of them we came across when we went out for one of the Merida weekly events that ended up getting rained out. Found that there was a Mercado like right there. It's like, who knew? That really wouldn't have been walking
No,
distance. That was too far.
I mean, we Ubered it back partly
Yeah.
because it was raining and partly because it was
It
a
was a
hike.
walk. But there was a Mercado in San Sebastian, which I never got to get to. Then there was a Mercado that we walked to the one day on a Sunday,
On the east side of Centro.
and it was pretty much partially closed by the time we got there. For sure, the wet market had
They
just shut down.
They were cleaning all that up.
They were cleaning.
And most of the interior tiendas had already closed for the day, or if they
Yeah.
even opened on Sunday, I don't know. But
But
we had good food.
what I really found interesting about that particular Mercado is it was so much different than, let's say, like the one that was in Amealco, for example. That one was just like really wide spaces,
Yeah, and it was very different than the one in Valladolid.
Yeah.
Valladolid was very much of an open air market.
It was.
with partition rows where they could set up their shops.
Yes.
But This
This
reminded
was like
me more
a
of
mini
a mini
storage.
storage unit.
This was
Yeah.
like a mini storage unit. Everybody has a little roll down
garage door
garage
they can
doors.
just pull down.
And you want to talk about ingenuity. There's hair cutting places. They could fit 2 chairs inside these little rooms, and you know it. They're lined up one after another, these little hair cutting places, and people are getting their hair cut. It's just fun to see it. It's different. You walk around, there's a lot of shoes for sale, bags for sale. Again, hair accessories, perfume, fruits, sweets. You get to the wet market, you got meats, there's produce. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So yeah, Mercado experience as well.
I can tell you from driving around Merida that gas prices from the middle of Merida south tend to run about 2 pesos cheaper than they do on the north side of Merida. I was making it a point of, or when we were, where we were staying at our Airbnb, we were saving that 2 pesos. So every time we would get gas, we were getting it down there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, 2 pesos, but that's 2 pesos per liter. And, I mean, we just still haven't gone through a whole lot of gas down here because we don't drive that much. But, I mean, they're paying the same on the north side of Merida as what we're buying it here in Progreso at. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Good point. Well, that's pretty much our wrap up of shopping in Merida.
Dr. Simi!
Honestly, there is something there for every budget and for every level of shopping. You can shop chains and big box stores, or you could shop local, small tiendas and bodegas. Everything is there.
If you need it, you're going to be able to find it,
Yeah.
pretty accessible there.
Absolutely. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for tuning in. We are Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a plan.
Remember, we're doing it. You can too.
There are some videos somewhere up there that you might want to check out.
Hasta la próxima.
Adios.